It's Sunday. Let's get dressed. Maid outfit. Apron. Fursuit head. Arm warmers. Look at how pretty I am. Oh my goodness. I did my first ever maid cafe, let alone in fursuit, at a furry convention. First time ever seeing one happen. And let me tell you, it was pretty fun. A few months ago, when I was the guest of honor for Awustria 2025, a furry convention in Europe, my first ever time in Europe, let alone a European furry convention, in Vienna, Austria, if you're curious about specific locations, I got to try out a bunch of different new things, being the guest of honor for the con, but one of the things that was entirely optional that I decided I wanted to try was being a server at the furry maid cafe that they were hosting. As someone who isn't really fond of like the whole maid outfit vibe and like looking pretty and getting all dressed up and proper, I will say, getting to try out a maid cafe, let alone in fursuit at a furry convention I was a guest of honor at, was actually pretty fun. If you don't know what a maid cafe is, I mean, based on my outfit, imagine like I am serving you coffee and drinks and pastries and desserts while you're sitting there, maybe taking pictures with me, having a nice conversation. That's pretty much what the experience was like. You can order all sorts of drinks, coffees, teas, pastries, desserts. I had like maybe 1 to 2, maybe 3 tables that I served, and mainly just had some really cool conversations there with the people that were visiting. So honestly, I'd say it was a pretty good win at the end of the day. Yeah, the first table that I ended up getting was like my buddies that I ended up meeting at the con, Kai and Larry. From the diner or the visitor, it was just talking with this weird Shep about furry stuff or really anything, but from my experience, it was having a nice conversation, taking the initiative with asking people how their cons were, getting to know people, getting randomly assigned tables, and trying to handle all of those heavy drinks and pastries all at once with fursuit hand paws on. But it was still pretty cool, and I see it as a trend that's up and coming within furry conventions, where multiple different cons I feel like are starting to implement the idea into their convention schedule, and honestly, I think it's a pretty cool thing that I wanted to highlight today, so that's why we're talking about it. I also saw that Ethan Nestor ended up talking about it in his furry video, and I was like, oh, furry maid cafe, that's the first time I've heard about that. And then like a few weeks later, when I was on a call with Vex, planning my guest of honor responsibilities for Awustria, he randomly asked me if I wanted to be a part of the furry maid cafe they were doing. It wasn't in the sense of like, oh, I'm dying to be a waiter at this maid cafe. It was more along the lines of, oh, this is something new. I'm going to Austria, let alone Europe, for the first time as is. It's all new experiences. Why not take this opportunity that I've been given? But it really wasn't that bad at the end of the day. The only thing that I really had to worry about was handling like the big server tray of all the heavy drinks and pastries while also having fursuit hand paws on and not being spatially aware and making sure I don't spill anything. But hey, that's why the manager was there to help out if I really needed it, but at the end of the day, it really wasn't that bad. Which I think is a little bit of a recommendation that I would give for anyone doing it for the first time. Invite some friends to partake in being a guest at the cafe too. So if you do it with friends, it's a little bit more lenient, or they could just fuck with you the whole time, which luckily my friends didn't, and it was really, really fun. The only inconvenient thing about it, I will say, and this is more so designated for my schedule, like I had to wake up at the ass crack of dawn to scarf down breakfast, get all dressed and ready in my fursuit and maid outfit by like 9:30, maybe 10 or so, rush on over to the little restaurant cafe that the maid cafe was being held at, and then I had a whole hour-and-a-half long shift of trying it out for the first time, and then immediately after, like maybe 15-minute grace period, I had to get out of fursuit, get back to my room, get all my stuff ready for my first convention panel that con. It was my introduction to furry content creation, which I'm really glad with how it went, and I wanted it to go well, but my schedule was just packed as soon as I woke up at like 8:30 in the morning. I took a very fat power nap after that. I feel honestly like I was pretty underdressed compared to everyone else that was there. Like a lot of people had their like full fursuits going while they had the maid outfit on top of that, which was incredible to see. I have nothing but respect for anyone that was willing to do one shift, let alone someone who was doing 3 shifts in that. That was ballsy. I'm impressed. It was actually really cute seeing all the different maid outfits that people were bringing. Like, I brought a pretty, regular maid outfit, but a lot of people had some really decked out ones. Like, Vex had a whole white and pink one with his, black and purple fursuit. It looked so cutesy. And then Noodles was wearing a lederhosen. I didn't even know that was a thing till then. He was like, Beta, you should see my lederhosen. I'm like, what's a lederhosen? He's like, oh, well, it's like this thing. It looks pretty cool and decked out. And he's like, here's where this goes, and here's where that goes. I'm like, and that's where you keep your knives? And he's like, actually, yes. which I don't know if that was supposed to sound threatening or not, but hey, having knives at your holster of Lederhosen, that sounds pretty good. I like having knives at my disposal. As for the outfit that I decided, I kind of just threw together my regular maid outfit that I had. I decided to add on my Angie Paws arm warmers and thigh highs, which shout out to Angie Paws. I love their stuff. I'm not sponsored as of right now, but I could be later. Look, they just make really cool arm warmers and thigh highs. I love mine. I just need some that fit more of my colors, so would love to work with you in the future, or maybe like a custom arm warmer thigh high for like my Shep or something. I don't know, it would be kind of cool.
Well, isn't that a little ironic? I mean, it's a week or two after recording the video, but I'm happy to announce that this video is sponsored by Angie Paws. I remember getting their arm warmers and socks back in like 2022, 2023, and these are the same ones that I've been wearing, and they actually have held up pretty well so far. Look, in all honesty, I'm really happy to be doing this because I love Angie Paws just as is. They don't really need an introduction, but for me, they've been kind of the go-to furry sock design, furry arm warmer, thigh-high furry company in the fandom for the past however many years now. Whether you're looking for some simple cutesy thigh-high designs with the pink and black and white patterns to impress your boy or let out your inner femboy, which, even though I would love to do so, I am caked up beyond belief and my body will not allow me to be the femboy twink I want to be. Or if you're looking for a sock design that's a bit more intricate, Angie Paws has you covered. Last month they ended up having the cryptid design, which goes so hard, I would have loved to have gotten it. However, they're sold out now, so keep that in mind if you're looking to order something from them. But for this month, they have the brand new design of Autumn Fox, which just goes so hard. I'm not even a fox furry or a fox guy by any means, but I would definitely get these at some point. And as part of this paid promotion, I'm very happy to announce that I'm part of the affiliate program with Angie Paws, also known as their cult sock program. I'm not really sure how that works, but yeah, it's pretty cool. I have a custom link in the description below, which you can use today whenever you order socks or thigh highs or arm warmers from Angie Paws. And on top of that, if you do order a pair of socks or thigh highs, you should be able to get one free sticker or one free badge with your purchase. Big thank you again to Angie Paws for supporting me and supporting this video. It really does mean a lot. Go and check them out. The link is in the description, and enjoy the rest of Levi being a maid.
But as for the experience of being a part of the maid cafe, or I guess a server or waiter in this sense, it's actually pretty easy, and honestly my hand was held a lot more than I expected it to, and even then I went into it with the expectations of just having fun. I got to be in fursuit, I got to be pretty, I got to exude a bit more confidence about myself, especially with my weight loss journey. I got to get all sorts of pretty pics while in this exact outfit, and not gonna lie, getting into it I was a bit nervous, not just because I didn't have any waiting or food service experience in my life. I don't know how I'm supposed to initiate conversation, especially being a furry who's terminally online. His whole job revolves around being online, and he has immense social anxiety. It was pretty hard for me to get outside of my comfort zone. But that's the exact reason why I did this in the first place, and I'm glad that I did. There was a meeting like the day beforehand to see like what the whole process would be for anyone doing the maid cafe, and there was this like big group photo. Some people even got in their maid outfit in fursuit beforehand, and I got to say hi to them, get to meet a couple of them. It was pretty nice and sweet, but they got all dressed up, and honestly with them acting all cutesy and having a good time, it kind of eased my anxieties as well. And also seeing that like triangle of fursuiters doing like the squats while T-posing, I was like, oh, we'll be fine. Nothing bad against that. I'm just like, oh, this is just so nonsensical and cutesy. It's gonna be fine. It's gonna be fun. And especially being, you know, in the position that I was, where I'd have to do a panel directly after, I was worried about screwing up and it would ruin my vibe for the panel that I was doing. It was all just really fun. I'm gonna be honest, that was such a blast. It was so rewarding. Which granted, I didn't even know what to expect going into it, besides looking pretty and a roof. The time felt like it breezed by, like the conversations I was having with the attendees or the guests at the cafe. It was just like chill, asking them how their con was, how their experience was with the furry convention in Austria. You know, I felt like it was a little easy to ask whatever questions and do some back and forth because I was like the tourist or visitor from the US and they were at their home convention. But it all like worked out. The whole conversing part, or taking the initiative with conversations, starting chats and all that, was actually a lot easier than I thought it would be. I got to meet such lovely people, got some nice pics, got to act all cutesy, peering up over the table, asking for like sips of their coffee, which a lot of people were giving me coffee too, so that was pretty nice. I had like 4 cups of coffee going into that shift, so hey, I was wired going into my panel, baby. But the maid cafe was such a fun time. I got to be all cutesy and adorable while in my maid outfit in fursuit. I got to see all my other friends in their maid outfits in fursuits, which they looked adorable. And I got to converse with new people while also trying my hand at some somewhat food service work. I think it would honestly be a cool idea for conventions to implement if they have the time and resources to do so. Especially because it gives furries an opportunity to wear the maid outfits that they have, because I'm sure plenty of fursuiters have like a maid outfit or like a pretty outfit with their usual fursuit attire. I mean, the amount of femboys in the fandom is unfathomable, so yeah, there will never be a shortage of those. But if I remember correctly, maid outfits in fursuits were kind of taboo in earlier years, at least from my fragmented memory of it all. Like, it was a bit more showy than it really meant to be. So I feel like that was the reason for like maid raids. Like, it was more of a fun thing, but also to be like, oh, look at all these fursuiters in maid outfits, and then they go back and desuit after like 30 minutes to an hour of fursuiting around the convention lobby. But pretty much to see everything evolve from how it used to be with maid raids at furry conventions to now having furry conventions have full-on maid cafes is really, really nice to see, especially knowing that it gives people a different option to do things or partake in different activities at a convention outside of the usual panels or dance comps or opening ceremonies or whatever else they do. And also for those wondering, which I'm sure there will probably be those asking, yes, you do have permission to draw my fursona in a maid outfit. The only preference that I would have with it is if you do like a custom one that fits the vibe of my character that I could maybe look into getting in the future. I'm giving things a different shot by doing this fursuit-esque commentary video, so if you want me to do more of these in the future, be sure to let me know, because this does require a lot of heavy lifting. Not that this is heavy, but I am dying on the inside. But either way, that's about gonna do it for me. Have a wonderful night, take care, stay life jacket, treat people like people, and that's about it for me, guys. Take care.